Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rachel Shell, Archford Technology Coordinator, and Katrina Walls is with me, and we're really excited because Katrina is here to walk you guys through setting up a digital classroom. So if you're not sure what a digital classroom is, Katrina is going to show you, and I'm also going to make available the digital classroom that she and a few others have set up so that you can see what that would look like. And then you can follow along with Katrina as she sets up a digital classroom. This is such a great tool that you can use with your students. So Katrina, what grade levels do you typically use these digital classrooms with?
I teach kindergarten through third art. So
Awesome.
they are who will be using these this year.
That's great. But the thing is you can use them for any grade level. So one example that I'm going to show you, we actually use with novice teachers. So this works great for adults as well. So if you're teaching anything above third grade, don't feel like that you could not do this. One of the great things about older students is they may actually be interested in creating something like this themselves. So feel free to share this with your students or with other teachers and follow along as we create digital classrooms.
Okay. So when you start a Google Class or a digital classroom, virtual classroom, you're really just making a picture for the background of a classroom, what you want your classroom to look like. So when you make the classroom, you probably want to start by taking photographs of resources you might want to use. If you don't have images of them, you might be able to find images of them on Amazon or wherever you purchase those resources. Like if you have a poster, you might take a picture of that poster. But to start making the picture itself for the background, I start at Google Drive and I click New and I go down to Google Slides and I start a new presentation. So if I wanted this to be my classroom, I would change the title to Virtual Classroom. And then I clear out everything on the screen. And honestly, I was so new to all this that this was a tricky step for me. But if you click and drag on the screen and then hit backspace or delete, those disappear. So it's not too hard, but then we're going to click background, and here you're going to choose image and go to Google image search. So the first thing you're going to want in a classroom are the walls and the floors, which you can just look up. Wall and floor, I guess. And then I hit enter, and there are lots of options, and you can kind of scroll through and see which option you would like, and you double click and it shows up in the background, and then I hit done. So this is the background, and luckily it won't go anywhere. It kind of stays put. The next images you want to choose are your desk and your bookshelves and those posters that you might have a picture of. So you could go back to insert and image, and you can still search the web. So you can go to search the web and maybe type in desk or student desk, and then it will have options for those. And you could choose whichever one you would like. Many of them are going to be transparent, but one very important web page that I found that didn't used to exist. This is why I used to think that graphic design was difficult, but remove background or remove BG is very good for removing background for images. And it even has a little tool where you can go through and erase anything that might still be lingering there. And it's pretty easy to use. But there's the student desk. I might put in a let's see, map. A map would be good. And you can put any map that you wanted. A whiteboard is, of course, very important. That's where you could, type some of your information in. And you could choose the one you like. Maybe it, oops, there you go. Let's see, bookshelf. So I'm going to go back to insert, image, and then go back to search the web. And bookshelf. So these have a lot of books on them already. I guess I might use, let's see. I'm going to scroll and see which one might work. You could also type in animated if you wanted something more child-friendly, animated bookshelf, and then something like this might pop up. And you can change the shape of these by clicking and dragging the corners. You can see this one, let's see, oh, this is a good tip. If you double click this, you can kind of change the edge of it. And then when I click down at the bottom, I can move this over to the side so it doesn't get in the way as much of the whiteboard. So a lot of this is just playing with the sizes and so forth. Of course, that tree back there is going to look kind of awkward. But you just play around with the different things that you want in your room first. The next step is going to be to go to File and go down to Download, and you want to download this as a JPEG so that you can use this as a background image. So let's say I make a new slide, and on the next slide, I'm going to use those images that I put in to create links. So I'm going to go to my new slide, and this time I'm going to go to background again, and I'm going to go to choose image, and this time I'm going to click upload. And when I go to browse, it's going to give me the option for my virtual classroom. And then I hit done. And so this one, if I click on any of these objects, they're not going to go anywhere. So that's, of course, important. You don't want those objects to disappear when kids are trying to click on links. So the next step might be, I know on one of mine, I added a link to a map for Google Earth, I think it was. So what you can do is, let's see, I'm going to go, whoopsie, I've got some things in the way there. I'm going to go to Google Earth and get that link. Well, actually, yeah, Google Earth. And I'm going to copy that link. And then I'm going to go back to my slide. Now, I'm going to have to make a shape right here for the link to be clickable anywhere on this kind of rectangular area. So I'm going to go to shapes, and I'm going to go over here and click the rectangle, and I'm just going to make a shape. At first, it's going to be this gray, but I can go here to the fill color and click transparent. So now it's just a transparent box where I can insert that link. So I'm going to go over to insert, and I'm going to go down to link, and I'm going to paste that link here and apply. So now when the kids go here, they can click and get to Google Earth. And this is true for anything, even slides that you have. If you have a slideshow and you want that slide information to be presentable to the kids from here, you can make a link for it maybe on your whiteboard. I have some book slides and I use those on my bookshelf. So you could click something, maybe the bookshelf, and then go to Google slide with different books that kids could look at. So that is about it. When you use this, the biggest question I had was how to use this end project. And if you attach it to Google Classroom, you know, you could make some of these resources available to kids anytime they wanted to view them. If you put it maybe at the top of the Google Classroom or the top of Stream or something like that. So it was pretty fun.
And you also took an extra step and you added in your Bitmoji character. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I'm glad you mentioned that. So the Bitmoji, I made an add-on for Google Chrome, and you can click your add-on, and my internet's being slow, but you can drag any image, your Bitmoji image that you choose, over to your classroom, and that really makes it fun, because sometimes, you know, Bitmoji, you can even type in a word that you might want to make look really stand out or look really cute, and you can type in a word and the Bitmoji will be with that word, and you can put that on the slide, like great work or something like that. So hopefully it'll pull up.
That's awesome. Yes.
There it is. Okay, so I can drag any image, any one of these, but let's see. And I should have done this probably before so that kids wouldn't delete the Bitmoji image, but you could, you know, you could change it, or you could redo it any way you wanted to.
Yeah, so I think that I wanted to kind of recap some of the steps you did and explain why you did things, because I think that that was done really well. But so when Katrina added on the first slide all of the items, and then she went to file download, you may be thinking, well, why did she just not, why'd she take that extra step and download the entire background as an image? And the reason you do that is because when she uploaded it again on the second slide as an image, now students cannot go in and move or change any of the elements here. And they won't, sometimes they won't do it on purpose. It's just, I mean, I still do it to this day. I'll accidentally drag something completely off the slide and then I won't be able to find it again. So it just kind of keeps everything static and in one place so students can click around, because if you remember, if you went through the Intro to Google training, we're linking this like you would a hyperdoc. So we don't want them to actually click on the desk and move the desk. We want them to click on the desk and it links to something else. So I think that is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions, just reach back out to me, post in the comments below about questions you have. We will post below a link to the background image remover, link to the Bitmoji add-on, and then also there will be links to some of the virtual classrooms that Katrina and others have made, so you can be inspired and see how you can create something for your students in your classroom. So thank you so much, Katrina, for jumping in and showing us how to do this.
Thank you, Rachel.